G'day! Welcome to What the Plushie? What the Plushie? Let's find out.
Hello everybody, it's Tracy. Welcome or welcome back. My name's Tracy and I'm the creator behind What the Plushie. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy. And if you're not new here and you're returning, thank you too for coming back for some more of this craziness that is my life. So I've got a little bit of an update. I've got some plushies I'll show you first, and then I'll do a bit of a life update, an alize update, because I've been chomping at the bit to get this bloomin' order in, and you don't even want to know. Anyway, so my last video I had made a few of these stress balls, and I just happened to do another one because I went back onto the Etsy store and seen another one and thought I really like that and I'm going to buy it. So I did, and it turned out bigger than, like, I'm used to big things. That's what she said. But this turned out a little bigger than what I expected it to. But I made the fried egg stress ball. This is Snug as a Bug yarn. This is what I use. It's a 6mm hook, embroidered eyes, and the actual egg yolk comes out as the stress ball. These are so much fun. I've got one of the other patterns that I've got is all of the crayons, so I'm going to make all of the colored crayons. I'm actually planning to do that with probably the alize, because I think they'll sell really well here, especially for teacher gifts, etc. But made this stress ball. The pattern, look at me go, I didn't even look it up. I should know from last week. The pattern is by, come on, the pattern is by Unraveled and Unwound. I should have known that. But as I said, I featured them on my last 4-day makes video. So yeah, I couldn't help myself. When I seen the fried egg, I was like, okay, in my cart. It just happened. I just closed my eyes, pressed the button, and bingo bango, here we are. So there's my fried egg stress ball to go with the rest of them. Next up, I made this because I wanted to use up. Spotlight had this real soft, super thick yarn at Easter time. It came in boxes, and this was the last lot of it that I had left. So I went to, I had a pattern from Maymade, and I made she's got like a baby series, and they're so cute. I made a I think this one's actually called the Beans Bunny pattern. I used a 6.5mm hook for this. So you make the legs first. In one of them, you can have her in like a little jumpsuit and her legs, and she has little toe beans. But I didn't do that because I wanted to use up this yarn. So a 6.5mm hook, you make the arms, you make the legs, and then they get crocheted in. You then continue in the round and make the head. I embroidered the eyes because I thought this would be probably pretty cute for a little toddler or child to take to bed, etc. The hood comes off, and it's a bold little baby underneath, or she's got her bunny costume. I've got a lot of these patterns that I'm actually thinking I may make as well. There is like a sunflower, there's different animal characters, and I've got pretty much all of the patterns because I'm greedy and I can't help myself. So anyway, I embroidered the eyes. You surface crochet in the little bits of hair, whatever color, whatever. They're so versatile though. You could make so many different hoods for them. This I just did as the standard hood. They do have like a pixie shaped hood, but I didn't do that because I didn't want to. And then I just added a wee little fluffy tail because she is a bunny after all in her bunny pajamas. Yeah, so that was May made babies. I will attach the patterns down below as I normally do. Okay. You don't want to throw a child like that, just saying. Next. A little while ago, everybody was making, where have they gone? Oh, they're there. Everyone was making the All From Jade weighted buddies. And I had purchased the online copy of the book. I didn't get the book because I don't really have any room to put any books. And then I'd have to buy a bookcase and then I'd need a bigger shed. So I just bought the downloadable copy. So I thought I might have a go at that because I've seen a few other people make them and I really just wanted to give it a crack. So I made the hair on him, the turtle. This is all out of Snug as a Bug yarn, 6.5mm hook. These eyes, I have absolutely no idea where I got them from. They've just got glitter discs in them, but they've got like cat's eyes. His little shell, excuse the dog, it's always, if it's not the dog, it's blooming chickens. His little shell comes off, it's like a little backpack. He turned out quite a good size. He's quite cute. I didn't weight them, just because I knew that they were going to be quite big with the Snug as a Bug yarn. So therefore, I figured that if I put extra weight, the poor little kids aren't going to be able to carry the poor thing around. So I made the turtle, and then I don't know, I really like piggies. So then I made Mr. Pig. I don't know, they've all got names, but you know, I call everybody bro, sir, ma'am, especially at work, because I don't want to have to try and remember someone's name as well as my drug calculations and etc, their past medical history, any allergies, all of that sort of stuff that I go through. The last thing I need is to try and remember that your name's Bob and not Jack. Anyway, so I made the piggy. This again is Snug as a Bug yarn, 6.5mm hook. These are 20mm eyes, and these guys have just got glitter discs in them as well. But he turned out really cute, this one. I really like this piggy. I would like to keep him, but I've got too much. I keep too much. I keep way too much. But yes, so they're the pattern from All From Jade. They're her weighted buddies. Yes. Then, as I tend to do, I go on a bit of a tangent when I start making. I'll make just one of something and then become completely hyper-focused. I think it's a little bit of the autism, ADHD, I don't know. Undiagnosed, I'm diagnosing myself. I can't help it. I get obsessed with something and I won't just make one. I've got to make like 90 of them. So anyway, last night I was sitting out here. It was nice and cool, and the little fairy lights are on, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a splooter. So I started with one, ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 splooters. I did the full-size splooters. Went to bed and dreamt I was crocheting. I was counting rows. It was gnarly. But anyway, so first one I made was this fella. Ziggy. Not Zip. Let's have a look. I don't want to get his name wrong. I mean, I just call him cute as a button, but Zippy the zebra. I crocheted him in Snug as a Bug, so he's a decent size. He's got 30 mil painted eyes that I just paint with glitter nail polish. This is Motivera fur yarn for his little mullet. Well, not so much mullet. But I think he's super cute. I've never made the zebra before, so that started me down this rabbit hole. These patterns, as everybody will probably know, is the Snug as a Bug, jeepers, Snuggle Beans crochet patterns for her splooting animals. Yeah, so I have all her patterns. I've bought them all. I haven't made them all, but I've bought them all. But this is Zippy the zebra. Then, of course, as I said, couldn't stop at one. So the next one I made was this lovely lady. I made Una the unicorn. And now Una, I did all her legs, her hooves, all different colours. Variegated horn. She's in yellow. This is the cover story yarn that I got in like a kilo block cake. Again, 30 mil eyes that are painted with nail polish. But then, yes, I was like, oh, I really like Una the unicorn. I'm going to make one. So made that last night. And then I was like, I think I want to make another one. So then I worked my way back up through my list. And I made a Suki the Sloth. This one I really like. Suki the Sloth. This is again Snug as a Bug yarn. I think it was a 6.5 mil hook, maybe 6 or 6.5 mil hook. But he turned out a decent size, and I gave him a little smirk and some eyebrows just to give him a little bit of chewed, just because that's how I was feeling. Again, old mate's eyes are glitter nail polish and then a color of quick dry nail polish on it as well. So that's Suki the Sloth. And then but there's still more. Then I made Mr. Possum, Mrs. Pepper the Possum. I didn't do the bit down the middle. I didn't do the little toe beans on him. I may still do that, I think, because I think it'll just add to the cuteness. Again, Snug as a Bug yarn, 6 or 6.5 mil hook, 30 mil painted safety eyes. But he's cute. I've never made him either. And then, of course, I was sorry, Pepper. Then, of course, it was still a little early for me to go inside and go to bed. So I then was like, Beans the Bunny. And I made Beans the Bunny to look like Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh. Snug as a Bug yarn, furry little tail, 30 mil. These are disc eyes. I gave him some eyebrows and embroidered his nose on. They're just disc eyes, I think. But yes, Beans the Bunny, cutie patootie, made to be a rabbit version from Winnie the Pooh. Ugh. And then last but not least, I then got a little, his head's coming off, and I got a little excited. Again, I'll fix that in a minute. And I made Dippy the Dino in my, this is the Bennett baby blanket in, I think it's called Mossy Path. Yes, look at me go. Mossy Path. This is snug as a bug in here. Hand painted 30mm eyes. I just gave him a bit of a mohawk at the top. Hand painted eyes, gave him big orange eyes. He is cute as a button. Yeah, so that was my splooting adventures. There's probably still more to come because there is a few patterns and I can't help myself. As I said, I feel like I need to make, I would really like to make the Highland cow. I've made that before and that goes so well at my markets. Also, Skittles, is it Skittles? Skittles the skunk, that's another one. The pig sells every time. So yes, I've got a few that I'm just going to pop him down there because I need to repair his neck. And then, just after last week's video, Crochet by Tracy at Crochet by Tracy contacted me and sent me a copy of her new pattern that she's going to release on Instagram, her free pattern for her minion. And I said to her, do you mind if I have a bit of a play with it as well, and make all the different minions just by adding rows, taking away rows, etc. She said, sure, go for your life, as long as you send me photos, which is what I did. And now I want to show you guys. So I made these all out of snug as a bug. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all out of snug as a bug yarn. 6mm hook, I think. This guy was the original, so I put their names on them so I could remember who they are. This is Stuart. So this is the first one I made. Single eye. I think that's a 10 or 12mm black safety eye. I just gave him some little tufts of hair because he's got a little bit of sparse hair, Mr. Stewart does, in the movies. Cute. Like if you made this, in snug as a bug or any sort of blanket yarn, like you could easily get $10 for that. Easy. Just saying. Anyway, so that was the first one I made. So that was Stuart. One eye, sparse hair. Then I had a bit of a play and I was like, who else is there? And there is Bob. So Bob's got a little bit more hair. He has different colored eyes. He's got a blue and a green eye. I don't know whether that's coming off very well. But yes, I made Bob next. So with the pattern that she had for the main, for just the single eye, all I did, I used the same base. I think it was 6 in the round, and then for the one eye, you double it round to 12. But instead for making 2 smaller eyes, I just did single increase around to 9 instead of the 12. So this is Bob. And then I made Dave. Now Dave has parted hair and 2 eyes, 2 black eyes. Dave was made again, snug as a bug, 6mm, and he's got his little name tag on there. And then I made everybody's favorite, Kevin. Kevin has 2 eyes, a tuft of hair, and he's slightly longer, more pill-shaped than the others. So I just added an extra round here and an extra round up here to make Kevin. And then I got through Kevin and I didn't have enough yellow yarn left to make any more because I was going to make some out of the new movie, which is, I think his name's Henry, and there's Dick, and there's Henry and James and Dick, I think, are the 3 new characters. So I was going to make them, but I ran out of that lovely yellow. So then I was like, I reckon I could make one of the evil ones out of this pattern. Just gave him black overalls. This is just surface crocheted on, I think I did single crochets around, just embroidered in the teeth. This, my friends, is that Moda Vera Olivia yarn. And I'm like, it's perfect, it's shaggy, it makes him look disheveled. He has a single eye, so I did the single eye and then I just embroidered, because he has like a little bit of a look. And yeah, and I made his arms just a little bit longer, because he does have longer arms. He tends to drag them. So I made this little dude. So Crochet by Tracy, I think, is going to release this very soon. It'll be free on her Instagram. But you can have so much fun with them. I'm going to make a few more of those purple dudes because I've got heaps of that Moda Vera Olivia yarn in the fuzzy, and it's just perfect for his hair. You don't have to tease it out. It's just chaotic and it's great. That's it for patterns and makes this week. Other than that, a bit of a life update. So I know that a lot of you that watch are in America. As you know, I'm in Australia. I'm in the top end of Australia, right up the top tip, the point, in Townsville. My eldest son, who's just turned 22, his girlfriend lives with us, because they met and fell in love, down when we were living further south, and she moved up here when we moved up here. And she moved in with us. And anyway, that's a whole story. Anyway, so she plays, on the weekends, she plays Australian rules football, or AFL, which is fairly uncommon in this area because we're very much rugby league country. But you do you, whatever floats your boat. She loves it. Well, I don't think she loves it anymore. So on Sunday, so today is Thursday, on Sunday, I was sitting out here in my she shed. My daughter, my youngest daughter, she's 17, she's at work. My middle son, he was at work, he's just about to turn 19. And my 22-year-old son, Ethan, rings me. And I answered, and I'm like, yeah, what's up, mate? And he goes, hey, Mum, are you at home? And I said, absolutely, I'm at home. I don't have a life. I'm a 46-year-old woman. Of course I'm at home. And he said, can you get down on the ground? So I was like, absolutely, yes, I'm 46, but I'm not elderly and frail, and I have a very physical job. I'm always on the ground. I said, yes, I can. What? Like, so I hopped down on the floor in here, and Frank was sitting in here with me. And Frank is looking at me like, what are you doing, mother? And I was like on the phone to my son, and I said, what are you doing? Why am I down on the ground? And he said, oh, you need to get Dad and bring Dad with you. And I'm like, what? Why do I need to get down on the ground with your dad? Like, what are we doing here? This is becoming inappropriate. And he's like, Mum, the football ground. Olivia's had an accident. And I was like, oh, okay. Is she okay? Yes, I think she's just dislocated something. And I was like, okay, have they called an ambulance for her? Because I will come down. Yes, an ambulance is on the way. I'm like, beautiful. So I went inside. I was like got up off the freaking floor first. Got up, went inside, grabbed my husband, drove down to the football ground, and just as my colleagues were getting there, it was good because they were my local ambos that I'm very much friends with. So she dislocated her elbow, and so they medicate her to the nines, and then they take her off to the hospital. My son follows behind. My husband drives her car home from the football ground, and I come home. Then I get a phone call from my son, and he said, Olivia's got to go in for surgery. That's her name, his girlfriend. She's got to go in for surgery. She's actually, her tendons ripped a chunk of bone off, and so they've relocated her elbow, but she's got to have a surgical intervention. And I was like, okay, no, not a problem. That's fine. Do you need me to do anything? No. Anyway, my son went to Mount Isa for work for the next 3 weeks on Monday. So he was at the hospital until I think it was 1 or 1:30 in the morning, Monday morning. Come home, slept for 4 hours, and then had to drive 6 hours to Mount Isa for his work. Olivia didn't go in for surgery that day. They've rebooked it. She's actually in surgery as we speak. So anyway, my son's in Mount Isa, doesn't have much in the way of phone reception, but I think he'll be back at some stage next week. So that was a whole drama. Then what else did I need to update you on? Everything else, everybody else has been just cruising. There's been no other major dramas. Olivia's mum flew up, and she's staying with us because Ethan's not here, so that she is supported post her surgery. And I think the plan is that Olivia will go down south to her parents' house for her rehab portion of it, to get movement back in the arm, etc. Anyways, that's the doomy gloomy bit. Now there's been a lot of discussion, and in the last couple of videos you would have seen I made these little cup cozies. I found a lady she's in Victoria, I think, which is very much down the bottom end of Australia, and she did the Felties. She had a few designs, and I messaged her and asked her for some extra designs, which she kindly did for me, but she hasn't made them available on her website at this stage that I know of. I haven't been back and had a look, but again, I was talking with Crochet by Tracy, and she actually has somebody who's in Queensland, which is like better for me, who has an industrial embroidery machine and is willing to make Felties for us here in Australia. She's got really good prices, and she's actually going in the process at the moment of trial running them. I've sent her a few ideas of what I think would make good Felties, and so they're running them through, and I mean, me alone will probably keep her in business. But it's going to be another option for us here in Australia. She can make them and send them out to us. We're not having to pay exorbitant tariffs and fees and etc. to get them from somewhere in America or Canada. We will have our own supplier. So that's the next thing. And then, so as you all know, I've been waiting for my alize yarn to arrive. I ordered it on the 8th of August. Today is the 27th of August, so it's been 19 days. I had an update on our Australia Post website to say that the tracking number had been registered down in New South Wales, and that was late last week. And I thought, well, surely New South Wales to Queensland is usually 1 to 2 days. Surely I'll have it by this week. I put an inquiry because it's just sat in New South Wales. So I put an inquiry in with our Australia Post service, and was told that I had to contact the distributor, so where I bought it from. And I thought, well, that's stupid. How are they going to know what's happening over here in Australia? Anyway, contacted them. They said, yep, it's sitting in New South Wales. The same thing that I already knew. So then I went back to Australia Post and they're like, oh, hopefully it'll be in the next couple of days. There'll be a little bit of movement or something. So then after I'd put in that inquiry, etc., within an hour, I got an update to say that it's gone from Alexandria in New South Wales to Sydney, and then from the mainstay in Sydney, it was in transit to come up to Brisbane and then to Townsville. So, excuse me while I just let the Frank tank in. Hiya. Okay, since Frank is now here and not interrupting me too much, I think that would be it for the day. I will try and get a video out in the next week or so. As soon as that alize Splooters order comes, we will definitely have a video. I will do bloom and backflips. But in the meantime, be safe, be kind, and I'll see you next time.